One of the most hilarious moments in the film is when Cliff is protecting his wife and it leads to a confrontation with a demon dog. What was your reaction when you first read that in the script? And how much do you lean on Craig and Kent to figure out how far you're able to push that scene? Because I think it's going to be one that audiences are talking about.
Yeah, I would, I laughed my butt off when I first read it. And yeah, it was up to those guys because, you know, sticking your finger in the ass of a dog, uh, to save, but that's the kind of guy Cliff is. He's willing to stick his finger in the ass of a dog to save his wife. I think that's part of what the cuteness of their relationship. But yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy day. They had some live dogs there, then the fake dogs, and it was yeah. I was looking forward to that day.
Cliff also has this really dry, dark sense of humor. It almost feels like the next evolution of the dad joke. Was there a particular scene or moment in the script that really helped you lock into his comedic voice?
Um, you know, from reading it, and we filmed it a little bit later, so I already kind of used it to lock in. But I love the fact that when Brian Cox comes out, naked, and everybody else is freaking out, and Cliff's just like, "Hey, he's got a heart on." Yeah, I see it, pal. His kind of sense of like I think Cliff came to this weekend as a dad who like loves his son, accepting of his son, and really is the kind of guy that wants to fix things and make things work
Mhm.
right. And so I think he's like, no matter what happens this weekend, we're gonna be good. We're gonna put our best, foot forward. And then, then you obviously couldn't imagine that a 400-year-old poltergeist would, take over the father-in-law, and he had to deal with that. But still, he's like, got to deal with it.
Yeah, you've also done it all throughout your career, and there's so many unexpected elements about this project that's going to make it so memorable. What was the thing that caught your eye initially?
It was I had the combination of the funny and the horror. It really intrigued me, and it's kind of nice because the horror feels a little bit like the Stranger Things or the '80s
Mhm.
movies that I kind of grew up on, and uh, or at least as a young adult. And it was, I don't know, it just it felt comfortable, and it felt funny, and the horror, I think, just added that extra element to it. And yeah, so I was in immediately.
Yeah, and the comedy also feels so grounded to these characters and the situations that they find themselves in. And I think as you're watching this film, it feels like the entire ensemble is feeding off each other's energy and they're elevating one another's performances. What was it like being in that environment, and how did those dynamics influence your own performance?
Oh man, we all bonded like just immediately. It was a really incredible thing. I said we all lived close together, and just sharing all this stuff off camera. Just and it was great doing. I had the most fun off camera because we would riff and do improvs, and we had like these long running. Parker Posey and I would pretend like we had this affair and that now it's very uncomfortable to be working together. And we would just, she's brilliant. And, offset, we would just kind of play this whole thing like, we're trying to get along, we're trying to get for the sake of the cast. And you had to be there to kind of see it. But all that extra stuff, and the boys were always around, playing and going out, and, a few times getting high and drinking and all that kind of fun stuff. So it was just a pleasure. And I think all that feeds into the movie, quite frankly. And we just bonded immediately. And we're still on like a group text, thing. So.